Oh man, this is one of those like a lot of thoughts flying around, a lot of stuff going on. Where do you even want to begin? Kind of things.
Even during the off season, there's just a lot of movement going on in college football, and I kind of like it because prior to some of these things happening, I was like, man, what are we going to talk about regarding Alabama football? There's always things to talk about, but this past 1 or 2 weeks has just been a nice little roller coaster.
I want less to talk about. Like that's fine. I
like
boring
it, man.
off seasons.
I like this off season. This is extremely entertaining. Great to pay attention to, and just like I just told you before we jumped on, man. I've been all over Twitter a lot more than I normally am, but I'm just tuning in.
Yeah, it is funny because most people assume it's me when they post.
And I know, and I know, like, and I thought about that because what hers means is we share a Twitter account. Herb and Roger Twitter, so
no days off, buddy.
No days off. Yeah, so sometimes I'll post, sometimes he'll post, and then so sometimes people don't know who's posting what, but when we message people, then we try to kind of clarify who's saying what, so they know how to respond and react. But yeah, I'm loving it, man. This is awesome times.
Let's start off with a cool one. Randy, one of our best supporters, man. Again, we can't say enough.
Yeah.
Not just for the on-air support, but man, a lot of different stuff that you'll see coming up from him is at his urging or support. So we always appreciate it. It's always his stuff out here. He's a Georgia Bulldog fan, so it's tough at times. Like, when you're looking at the team that you're expecting to be on top, man, you kind of hate it at times. There's definitely a lot of jealousy from our ends, but man, we always appreciate him out there.
And hold on one second. Speaking of Georgia Bulldogs, let's show our respects. Uga,
definitely
the 10th, I believe, passed away earlier today. So
yes,
respect there. Sorry for the loss. Shout out to Uga. Rest in heaven.
Yeah, never like to see anything like that. So that was definitely sad news that popped up on my feed earlier. So, man, these are.
Where is this question coming from? Like, what has Randy been doing today?
He says, read the next one. He says he loves the apocalypse stuff. So,
that is interesting.
Christmas.
Interesting.
How about we'll give our thoughts at the end of the show.
He mentioned Christmas though. About the last month when we were doing it, he was talking about decorating, and they get pretty live at the Beast household. So,
snow a house if you had from Louisiana. I'm not a snow person.
I completely dislike cold weather. I like the South. I like Southern weather. I hate it when it's cold. I hate snow. I hate all that.
Yeah. So, we're just gonna say, yeah.
Shout out to E.
You're all right, sir. Yep. And E with this pulse on some big NBA news, and we'll touch on that a little bit later.
Yeah.
It came out today, so he's already given his thoughts. So yes, totally agreed. Never like to see that for sure. And we'll give our thoughts on the apocalypse, I think, later on the show. All right, so where did you survive another week?
We did. Right? We survived another week, and I feel like this past week is actually a little better. Things are getting better. Things are starting to look our way. We've got some people coming in. Oh, good. I didn't jump the gun.
No, you're good. Yes. Rod, you're the talent, so I'm just the guy pressing buttons over here. So.
Yes, we officially lost Downs. That was a tough pill to swallow. Just me speaking personally, I think for a lot of Alabama fans, that was a tough pill to swallow. But it is what it is. I'm glad that it happened sooner than later, and I do find it interesting that the quote that came out was, and please correct me if I'm wrong. Ohio State needed me. Georgia wanted me. Was that it? Something
I didn't know that he called them by names. I thought he just said I went where I was wanted, not where I was needed. But
yeah, but what I mean,
both of those are dumb.
That's ridiculous. I mean, at Alabama, we needed you. We wanted you. There's nothing else we could have did to show you how much we wanted you. You started here as a freshman. You had all these accolades.
Yeah,
you were loved here. You would have been obviously a starter for the next 2 years and gone to the league, first-round draft pick, etc. And he'll probably still be a first-round draft pick.
Yeah.
I
don't think his choice of school is going to affect where he ends up. It's just stop. These guys, when kids leave, just stop trying to show any shade towards it. Just go.
Right, just go.
I wish one of them would just come out one time and go, I chased the money, man. Just say it. It's fine. We all know it. Or I wanted to play it. Just why can't you just, hey man, I just really want to play at Ohio State.
Yeah.
Like Caden Proctor, when he left, man, he said he was homesick, man. They've been reaching out to me. I haven't really been happy. That's fine, bro. I get it.
And that's fine. That's fine. We appreciate your services while you're here. Again, another huge loss for us. But if you want to go, you want to go. And think about it. When you're going back to Iowa, you're not going somewhere saying, "Hey, I want to win a national championship," or Iowa's not even going to win the Big Ten next year. So
that's the only one that honestly, I mean, the other ones maybe bother you for different reasons.
Yeah.
But going back to Iowa, like you have to think it's all homesick. And maybe they were paying you, but I can't imagine they were paying you more than anybody else.
Exactly.
So it's like you really are just kind of lowering your expectations for the next year. Look, I don't care if you're from Iowa and you take that as shade, that's fine. But you tell me where Iowa's going to finish next year in the Big Ten.
Right. You had a chance to stay down here in Alabama, playing the best and the toughest conference against the best and toughest competition, but you chose to go back home. Again, to Herb's point, if that's what you wanted to do and you felt homesick, so be it. We're not going to shade you for that, but we wish you to stay.
It's an interesting choice at all.
Yeah.
So to this point, how are you feeling so far about the couple players we've actually managed to get? Which is this time period, like unless you're getting people who are still in the transfer portal, which most people have poached kind of before the playoffs even happened. That window, a lot of these guys have already gone. So you just and Randy's next point I'll post, but that I'm hoping with that one, it's nice to. I mean, I hate it for Washington. And then to a lesser extent, Arizona, because those are the only places with new portal pieces out there. But, we've lost so many, you can't really feel sorry for anybody. But how do you feel so far about what's coming in?
It was a rough start. When Saban retired, it was a really rough start because I knew this trickle-down effect would occur. And I think the big blow was Downs, and then Proctor wasn't as big as a blow as Downs. But I think we suffered the worst of it, and I think we're starting to come up. I'm fine with where we are now. And I think over the next few months, we'll start to get even stronger than we are right now. I just want to get to a point to where I see our first depth chart and see what we're really going to work with in the spring going into the fall.
Right.
So I have a better understanding of what's going on. Obviously, some news came out today. Ryan Williams canceled his Texas trip. And
that was in my notes. I didn't know when you wanted to get to that. So
sorry.
No, it's I've seen so much stuff posted in the last week that it's hard for me to get like excited and not excited anymore. So it's like I see that and I'm just like, that's fine. So we'll see. So but go ahead. I don't want
no. Yeah, to that point, I mean, he canceled his visit, so that's good for us. And from what we hear on social media, when I say from what we hear, we don't have like people that work. We don't know people that work for the actual team, but just going on social media and other resources, I guess. Ryan Williams had a good visit this past weekend in Tuscaloosa. Said he felt like home. He's from Alabama, so hey.
But he just wants to be recruited right now.
Yeah, he just wants to be recruited.
Which, by the way, man, I'm sorry, but if I had a visit to Texas with all their money, I'd still go. I mean, go ahead and shower me some love for a weekend, just to say you would go. So
and it looks like we've got some our DBs are kind of coming in. One I'm still thinking about is Damani Jackson. I know he's a 5-star from USC, but I don't know really
how good he was.
Or is going to be.
A defender from USC, you really don't know what you're getting.
Right.
So that's just being honest. So he was good enough for us to want to recruit him. So I mean, we'll see. With our coach, defensive quarters. So this was the one that's kind of what I'm waiting on. I never really liked portal stuff before. I hate it even more now. And, I hate that that's a thing that we're waiting on. But, like, after the spring games or right before the spring games, that other portal window, I mean, it's wide open again. So we'll see.
I hate that, too, because it's kind of like –
for DeBoer, when he has to go through a full year. But, man, I just want the guy. I bet he hasn't slept since he got here. Go ahead, Ron.
No. And that point is going to kind of lie into one of my questions later on in the show.
So don't say too much.
But don't say too much.
Okay.
But no, the portal thing is just, I get the portal, but it's just when the windows are open, when they close and reopening them. So it's basically like, I'll stay here. But once that first spring depth chart comes out, if I don't like where I am, I'm gone. And it's just like, dude, come on. So then you're going to transfer somewhere else. So we might lose some more people then. Gain some more people, so we're not gonna have an understanding until late August of what's going on, really. But I mean, this is how college football is nowadays. It's just mass free agency, and I've said this several times. It used to be you get somebody in high school, and he's like, okay, he'll be here 3-4 years, maybe longer. Now it's like, okay, you hope to keep him 2 years. I don't know what he's gonna. He might be perfectly happy and then just want to go elsewhere next year. So
So this is an interesting little. So one thing I love about a Hoda, he never
honest.
he never pulls any punches. So,
Hoda is extremely blunt, and he's just right to the point. He was trashed at USC. I know that. Yeah, and Mike.
He's told us when he doesn't like us. So that's how it goes. So.
And to Big Mike's point, I mean, I think their whole defense was trash at USC. I'm more curious as far as how he was in division, and then that's an error on my behalf. I would have to go under his stats and maybe look at some film and stuff.
I make a lot of errors though, so it's fine.
I have, and I just haven't done that today, and I don't know if I will do that anytime soon. But
basically, don't know, don't care.
I mean, right? I'll take a look at it, but we've got other players coming in, so it is what it is.
Yeah. Let's see. Roller must transfer in the first one. They'll be able to play. It's just too much. They're litigating like the different things. You know, I mean, you're basically going to have guys in the season. You know, and you already have it in some of them with one foot out the door halfway through the season. And then those last two games, you're like, bro, you know, as soon as the window opens, I'm transferring to wherever. Like, it's just, I think they're trying a lot of player empowerment things, and it's going in the direction they didn't want it to go into.
Yeah.
So you literally have guys who are just getting paid to go to schools, and people are recruiting them.
And how much do you really need to go to like? How much are you just asking people like, how much are you willing to give me? How much are you willing to give me? Like, you're in college, you don't really have too many needs. You play football, give it a couple years, you'll be in the league. So how much money do you really need to survive in college? I mean,
I think most of them are people who are living kind of day to day, Raj. So a lot of them aren't looking. Some of them have those dreams. Oh, I'm going to NFL play for 10 years, and some are like, I just want all my money now.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I agree. It's only going to get worse.
Yeah,
so, and that's what conference realignment. I'm going to miss the Pac-12, and I was never even a huge Pac-12.
That's going to be so weird going into next year, because even though we know what the conferences are going to look like, I'm still going to be like just thinking, oh man, I wouldn't mind watching that late 9 p.m. Pac-12 game. But wait, now it's going to be, you got a team over here in California or on the West Coast. They're going to have to travel maybe to Michigan, Ohio State. That's just so weird. I mean, think about students going to the schools that want to go to these games. Like, how do you afford going cross country for these trips and getting back and staying I don't know how all that takes effect unless you just come from an affluent family or something like that, or you're just working. I don't know. Maybe I'm jumping the gun here.
Yeah. No, it's an excellent point. So it's kind of hilarious. What's going to end up happening is they're just going to have all the Pac-12 teams just still play each other late at night, just depending on which conference you ended up in.
Yeah.
Except for Stanford, I don't know what you're going to do, but
I don't know.
everybody else, yeah. So, yeah, I would kind of hope it does, man. I mean, if you're going to transfer, just whatever versus having to transfer this particular window to go to another SEC school. But I mean, now you've got a whole staff dedicated just to transfers if you're smart. So it's just weird. So.
Yeah,
and that is true. A lot of these guys are not going to make the league.
That's true.
So you can make your money. So we work with a guy who talked about one of his friends going to a smaller college, and he got $200K just to go. And I'm thinking, dang,
for a smaller, $200K, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, but $200K is like, it's sad because my second thought was, well, that's not much. I've got to the point where you telling me a college kid getting $200,000 is not much, but the money that they say is being thrown around,
it might not be much compared to other college athletes, but to just the average day working guy, I mean, that's a lot of money. So
I wonder if this will ever happen where you have something like this, or where they can start litigating the salaries, or putting maybe even a cap on what a person can make. Because right now you're like, if I really want this person, at certain places, like, I mean, if you want to start talking about portal, like Texas is just trying to get every time. Texas and I guess Ohio State, and then maybe Ole Miss is just trying to get every. I was at some point, I'm like, do you have spots for all these people? So
Ohio State is just putting out the money, and they're like, look, we'll get it from wherever we can. Just get the players up here. Yeah. But I mean, Ohio State's going to have a little interesting position because they got Will Rogers and then Julian Sayin coming in, and who knows who's going to start there. So I don't know. This is crazy, man.
Yeah. So it's we'll answer this question first before I go on this. It's hard for me to think. I mean, he was great on defense, but the way the game is being played right now, it's hard for me to take $2 million for a defender.
Defensively,
but if they felt like, and a safety at that, I'm sorry, not just a defender, but a safety, but if that's what they felt like, he was worth.
Yeah.
I just don't know that that's That's a tough one given the position. If you told me a quarterback got $2 million,
I agree.
I could believe
I
that,
agree.
you know.
Your quarterback is going to help generate a lot of points. Yeah, I agree. So
yeah, and put butts in the stands. So it's like, as much as you love Downs for being down here, it's like nobody's going to watch him particularly. I know what you're thinking. I was about to buy his jersey.
No, well, I was thinking that. Because I was a big advocate for Downs, but you said something about Downs being down here. I was like, really? Did you say that?
I didn't even think of that. Oh, that was I think I missed an opportunity there. So
yeah.
But on the Ohio State thread, you're almost at a point, and we're going to touch on the Michigan one in a minute, so I might be jumping the gun. If you don't win it all this year, if your Final Four is not like, let's say Georgia, just because they're, I feel like they're the best team going next year. But if Texas, Ole Miss, and Ohio State don't make the Final Four, like for Ole Miss, I think they're going to keep Lane forever until he wants to leave.
Yeah.
But Art Sark and Ryan Day, like, aren't you getting fired? I mean, with the talent and the money they have pumped into it.
I would say more Ryan Day because he's been there so long and he hasn't won a championship yet. Came close in 2020. Well, I'm sorry. They made the national championship game in 2020. They didn't come close to winning the game.
Dang, Rod.
We won 52-24. And then 2 years ago, they came close to making it to another one. They lost to Georgia 41-42, I think, in the Peach Bowl. That was C.J. Stroud had a huge game then, but they lost. So
that was terrible coaching down the stretch, by the way.
Yeah. A bad clock management, too. But, yeah, if you're Ryan Day, you don't win this year. It's kind of like, now what? Yeah. You got the talent. You got everybody there. Maybe they'll give them another 1 or 2 more years after this to kind of see what happens, but I don't know.
That's it. Oh,
that's
Randy, you got to start running some stuff by us. Then let us know if we're taking.
Randy, you got to let us know. Sorry, man.
Yeah, Randy will be on tomorrow. I believe still at 6 Central.
Yeah. So and I always try to catch it, but I'm driving home every time the show comes on, so I try to listen and then try to comment when I get home. But there's a lot going on. But yeah.
So I'm usually here. That's just, I mean, like I said, just positional value makes me wonder. Is Downs a great player and is he worth it? Yes, absolutely. Don't get me wrong on that. I just think positional value is.
That's just a lot of money.
Yeah. What do players in major need a scholarship? No. I mean, do you even notice your scholarship? That's like
you can now afford to pay to go to school. So give that to somebody else who can't afford it.
You can pay for you to go to school and a couple other people.
And a couple of years.
So that's good, Randy. I'll definitely try and tune in tomorrow to hear what your take on that issue is. So that's the Ryan Day part of it. What about the Sark part of it with the talent they're putting out there? And I mean, he did make the playoffs this past year, so that's progress. But where is the line? What does he have to do next year with a 12-team playoff?
I think he made a huge step this previous season by making it 1 touchdown away from making it to a national championship game. He got Texas in the playoff for their first time, so that was a leap. That was a nice leap there, but you would think it's probably going to be Ewers next year, next year. You got Isaiah Bond. You're going to have some other receivers. Defense should look good. You got to think that they're obviously they're going to be the top 12 unless something horrific goes wrong. So you would only think that they'd be.
What horrific would go wrong, Ron?
I mean, players get injured. Not necessarily horrific, but something just like on their end, just really, really horrible going wrong.
Back to this. I was hoping you would chime in. Good to see you, Lady Alf. I was wondering if you would, as our Ohio State fan owner, have something to say. So I think so too. It's nice, but we're the outside perspective. So
and the fact that Michigan just won a national title just he's throwing more salt into the wound too. And the fact that he lost the past 3 in their rivalry game. So it's kind of like, dude, you've got to win the whole thing this year. Basically got to go undefeated, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And this is without looking at their schedule. So
So that's our question, Lady Alpha. Then what would satisfy you next year? I'm assuming it's not just a playoff game. So do you need one of those first round buys? Do you need to make
a championship who are we talking about?
For Ryan Day.
Oh, you got to have a first round bye. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. That's my question to her because she's the Ohio State fan. Okay. I want to hear what she has to say. So it also brings up an interesting point. One of the things that we're going to do this summer is we're lining up people from different teams. To come on, different podcasters and people we've seen online. I know Randy. We kind of did through Georgia stuff, but I assume that. I mean, Randy loves us. He'll come back for a Georgia thing here, but going to have different teams lined up and kind of do a season and review and preview kind of thing. So definitely going to have an Ohio State and Texas person on here and an Ole Miss person on here kind of talk about their seasons and then where they went. So looking forward to that series. So, and in about 10 minutes, we might have our first debate.
Yes.
Another series we're going to bring up. So let's get caught back up here again. I don't see any of y'all thought about average college football fans.
No, they don't.
No, I don't. No, I don't.
Most general fans are just going to probably go into, okay, are we going to be one of the final four teams? Like, dude, if you get that far, yeah. But no, most people
because they haven't even resolved the Pac-12 issue yet, right? They haven't.
Which part of it?
Like, is it just now the top four teams? Like the four make it and then one wild card, right? So they haven't even.
That's what I thought. Yeah, but no, most fans, most fans are going to understand all this until we get midway into the season. Then they're going to be like, oh, well, we thought after we lost the game we were going to be able to make the playoff. Like, you can actually probably. There might be a scenario where a two-loss team gets in now. So just depending on the schedule.
Yep, depending on the schedule and who you lose to. That's going to be key. Yep. So, I just don't agree with that, man. I think if he has a bad season and beats Michigan and losing the playoffs, because
I think it's natty or bust for Ohio State.
He needs to win the Big Ten title. So I haven't seen their schedule, like you said. So, So to my understanding, I guess you're like the top ones, but then that one spot is going to go to whoever the top ranked group of 5 team. They're going to get it. So like in this last year, Oklahoma was ranked number 12, and they wouldn't have gotten in. So, because they would have got jumped by like number 23. So that's just weird to me.
Yeah,
I have trouble believing that. I don't think you pay as much money as they're paying the players to beat Michigan.
Yeah,
that's just a weird one.
The playoffs have to mean something, but
national titles got to win something. I still see a lot of people online who want to talk about their last title when they get. So that's an interesting take. So you talked about that part. Oh, well, now you gotta bring in the Michigan part of it.
Yep.
Hoda might want to close. He's pretty much as good as gone. I think him and the Chargers are talking salary. The last thing I read. So
he started interviewing with them again like earlier today, I believe. Yeah, they're probably just negotiating salary and everything. But he's going, in my opinion, he's going somewhere. He's got a good quarterback. I've always liked Justin Herbert. I thought he's a good quarterback coming out of Oregon.
Is it because his last name is Herbert?
Yeah, that's it. But he's got a good QB there, so he'll have a good scenario. Going back to the West Coast, I'm pretty sure he'll like that. And if you think about Harbaugh, you just pulled off the undefeated national championship season. You're going out on a high note, and maybe you're trying to escape before more controversy.
So you know what he's trying to get if he stayed at Michigan. He's trying to get language put in your.
The immunity clause,
thing,
yes. And I've never heard that from any type of coach in any sport.
Bill Self has it. Bill Self has it at Kansas.
Okay,
so I read that today.
How long is that good for?
I think
as long as
he's never getting fired, so forever. No.
So basically, Harbaugh said, "Listen, I'll stay here, but if anything comes out and it's negative, you got to leave my name out of it." So I think he's going to the Chargers, and with him going to the Chargers, what type of trickle down effect do we see as far as?
So that's going to be. Let's finish this point right here, and then we'll get into that question. So that's what would have happened because I think Tulane was 23rd, and they would have gotten in over like Oklahoma, and then like
was it Liberty? Because Liberty was
or Liberty. I'm sorry, Liberty. But they would have gotten in, and then like you said, it shifts everyone else down. So it's interesting. The reason why I disagree with this is because that makes you sound like Auburn, and I don't think we have any Auburn fans. But Alabama worries about winning titles, and Auburn worries about beating Alabama.
Yes.
So if you say that that's the narrative that they're putting out, then you've kind of flipped things to where Ohio State was Alabama in this argument, and Michigan was Auburn for a very, very long time. And now you're flipping that argument. If Ohio State just wants to beat Michigan, then you're saying that it's you're the little brother now, and that's all you care about. So okay, you're right. It's the cheater clause. So he's basically saying, look, I know like something's gonna happen here.
It's only a matter of time. Yeah.
So I mean, and so the people are bringing in the point there. We'll get to it's like do whatever you want and dodge. I mean, if I want a national title and then the Chargers wanted to pay me, I'd probably do the same thing.
Yeah.
So Raj asked this question earlier, and to me on the phone, and it was funny because Randy posted it on Twitter and talked about it too as well. Harbaugh leaves. Now the 30-day window is open for Michigan. Now, if they fill that void from within, then you don't affect another team. But if they poach another team's players, that's somebody else's. Because it's been posted like Brian Kelly, which I think that would be a weird one. And
I think Brian Kelly's done pretty well at LSU since he's been here a few years. So I don't see why we would go all the way up to Michigan. But maybe he has something else in mind.
It's interesting. The window opens for Michigan, and you're at a spot where, and obviously we got to get a little more familiar with the roster, but the poaching begins for somebody else. And the 30-day win, it's just crazy. So when are you going to look at it and see? And anybody out there that wants to post any names that people are looking at? I know McCarthy and Corum are gone, but the rest of their roster in jeopardy.
Personally, I'm going to take a look at things tomorrow just to look again at Michigan's roster. Obviously, they just went undefeated, so they've got some good players there. I just want to know if there are any players there that Courtney Morgan and Coach DB are going to be looking at saying, hey.
So here's your Michigan perspective.
Hoda, me and Hoda were messaging each other earlier. He says yes.
Oh, so he was messaging you. Okay. He told me I was the favorite Ragsdale, but he still it's fine.
I think you are the favorite.
I don't even care. I don't care.
He says as long as Coach Sharon stays there, then nobody will leave. I disagree. I think some players will leave. It might not be a mass exodus as we've seen before, but I think some players will leave, and then obviously other teams will come in and try to poach them. So again, I'll take a look at maybe things tomorrow to see if there's anything out there that might be of Alabama's best interest to kind of get in there and grab. But of course, like you said, that could create some sort of trickle down effect in the future, and then these players leaving, and then more openings here, or then maybe someone feels like, why are they getting more players from that position when I thought I was going to start, blah, 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 blah. So,
yeah. Lady Alpha she's on the talk about job security.
Yeah.
I think the nature of what we're talking about now, and to go to your last point, I think it's changed because of NIL. Right. I think your points are valid before they started pumping in money. But if you're paying 1 to 1.3 to 1.5 million for a safety, and you're paying, like, if you've paid 20, 30 million, let's think about it. You guys had this last week, I think, when you all were talking about it's becoming like the NFL. Think of it more in those terms. If you pay $60 million for your roster, 90 million, whatever the salary cap is, you're paying over for the NFL, you expect playoff wins. And I think that's why we're pushing this with Ohio State.
I wonder how much Julian Sands getting too, because I thought after he decommitted from us, I thought he would go back to the West Coast and maybe go to USC or something. Same with Judkins, the running back from Ole Miss. I mean, he had a really good season at Ole Miss, and I really thought he should have stayed for another year, but he went to Ohio State. So I wonder, again, I don't have any insider information, so I don't know how much everybody's receiving, but it would be curious to know.
Yeah. But to her point, yes, I just think I think that's kind of in the old model. And now when you're paying for your team, they expect more results. And I think I'm not saying that's for the better. I'm not saying it's right. I just think that's what's going to happen now.
Yeah. Yeah, so, I agree.
Yep. Definitely. Yep. So let's see. How quiet in the port. Yeah. But I think it's also been who wants to go to a team, that's possibly losing their coach. So I guess to your point there. Yeah, it's weird. They're just really trying to probably save their own roster right now. So popping in here. I mean, it would be crazy.
I actually thought about that too when I was at work one day. I was like, what if professional athletes you could just leave year to year?
You would never want to pay anybody.
You would.
That's part of the problem.
There'd be no guarantees.
Your shelf life for an NFL player is, at least in college, you're gonna have to deal with these people 2-3 years, and you've got a chance of maybe retaining them if things are really well, I guess. But if NFL or any sports is that would be crazy without it. So. Yeah. I mean, it's tough when you don't, and I think he's had one foot out the door even towards the end of the season anyway. So that's already got to be tough. But now it's like, I think if I'm a Michigan fan, I'm like, just go already.
Yeah.
You won a national title. You've done the best you can here. You've conquered Ohio State several years in a row. Like, just go so we can get to the next step, So, title or bust for Ohio State, I don't know why Randy always throw this at us. Like, we don't do that kind of stuff.
This is a good question because there are some Alabama fans out there who expect us to have this phenomenal recruiting class, et cetera, go undefeated, 15, 6, however many games we're going to have to play, go undefeated, win a national championship. Then there's some more other fans who say, you know what, it's Coach DB's first year. Let's see what we can do. My personal expectations are to still make the 12-team playoff. I think we can still do that and just go from there. And let's just remind everybody, Nick Saban's first year, he was 7-6. Second year, he was 12-2. Then the third year, 14-0 national championship. So if we can still, manage 2, maybe 3 losses depending on the schedule, I think I'm okay with that. It's gonna suck to see, but I think we can still squeeze in the 12-team playoff.
Yep. And to be clear, that's because of the talent on the roster. Like he didn't come into a terrible talent situation and what he's lost and what he's brought in. So that's the reason why we're still expecting something from him. So
Yep.
No, that's the only reason why. So I hope not. We have a tough enough schedule without losing to them. So, where's it? I think the eat one was how do you not run it back if you're Michigan, I think he's saying, but you already lost your quarterback and running back.
Yeah.
That's who he was talking about. So I think if that's who you're talking about,
and both Herb and I, we would have to familiarize ourselves a little more with the roster to kind of to assess that question a little better. But
every year that we've done this podcast, we've gotten a little. We used to jump on here and record this for an hour with no notes, no nothing. Then it started being notes. Now it starts research and stuff. Now we're gonna have to look up.
Yeah, but
you guys quit trying to educate us.
I know, I love it though, because once we figure out what topic we want to discuss, I'm going on computer, looking at this, checking out numbers, blah 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 blah. And to Her's point, when we first started doing this, even before a real good podcast, we were just talking off the top of our heads. We're not gonna lie. We didn't have numbers. We didn't have stats. We didn't have laptops. We were just chatting. Yeah, just chatting like brothers. So
we had the cans in the string, and that's all we were doing.
Yeah. Pagers.
Pagers. But now it's I don't think I had a pager. Mom only gave you a pager because she loves you more. So
I miss my pager. That was what year was that?
Yeah,
I really miss my pager.
I never had a pager. His debut, so I don't know. Yeah, like I said, I think it ties into how much they've paid people to get there and how much with the transfer portal. So I think that's going to be the major thing there. So 7 O-line guys, QB, 2 starting wide receivers. Defense was tough. So, but that's a lot to replace on the other side. So we'll see. There's Bo in the house.
Bo, I was about to say, who's Junior Billingsley? What's going on, Bo?
Bo, I had a guy out here. So there's a question specifically for Bo, Auburn fan. I had a guy that was actually tried to sell me stuff today and started off the comments talking about Alabama and transfer portal. And then he shipped to Auburn without me. Yeah, insurance. I was trying not to tell too much of my personal business, fool. Yeah. His one thing that he said, he slid into the conversation. He's mad that Auburn didn't get a quarterback. So I'd love to hear your thoughts about that. It is weird to recruit, a top 5 wide receiver class and nobody to throw it to.
Nobody to throw him the ball. Yeah.
Yeah. Mike, that's why we always roll with you because you've always had our backs from day one, man.
Yes. That is true. Shout out to Big Mike, one of the day ones.
Yeah. So. Raj, we're into the comments for a second. It's about 3:30. Do you want to handle our first debate?
Yeah, we gotta get some effects in here too for the debate. We gotta work on that some music.
So one of the things we talked about, the reason why we even came up with this is because to help fill time in the summer, and we agree a lot on this show. So it's time to go. It's time to go head to head on some stuff. So,
yes.
Full disclosure, I gave Raj 4 topics.
Yes.
I said you could pick one of these topics and you can pick your side. Okay. I won't mention the other ones because we might use them later. But the topic was who will Alabama miss more? Downs?
Yep.
Or Bond?
Right.
And I gave Raj first choice.
Yep.
So we'll check that one in a second. So Raj, you're up first.
All right. So I'm kind of nervous about this debate because I'm nervous and excited.
Okay.
As Herb mentioned, the question was who is Alabama going to miss more next year? Isaiah Bond, wide receiver, or Caleb Downs? I picked Caleb Downs.
Okay.
First of all, before I get started, let me give everybody some of Caleb Downs' accolades from last year. SEC Freshman of the Year, first team All SEC, and first team All SEC, don't be disrespectful. And
it's a debate. I'm not going to be respectful.
He led Bama with 107 tackles, had 2 interceptions. He was the first freshman to lead Alabama in tackles since 1970. So that's like 100 years, give or take some years. I think that Alabama will miss Caleb Downs more because I always felt like, yes, Bond was going to be the number 1 receiver next year, but even if he wasn't there, we would still be fine because I know we would get some receivers in there to fill those holes in. It's hard to fill in the holes at the DB position because we've been banged up there a lot. Malachi Moore seems to get hurt every year. Terry and Arnold got hurt last year.
You just want to drag everybody under the bus while you're trying to support Caleb Downs? That's what is this debate?
You know, Kool-Aid had the little hiccup after the SEC championship. I think he went into concussion protocol. But we've always had that one strong DB. We need him. We needed Caleb Downs next year. Obviously, we'll fill the holes. I mean, we can go back to guys Landon Collins, Minka, Eddie Jackson, obviously Deontay Thompson, Kool-Aid, Dick, Clinton Dix, Cyrus, PS2. I forgot. How can I forget about PS2? D. Milliner. Oh, duh. Marlon Humphrey. He's still playing on the Baltimore Ravens. Anyway, we always need that one guy. I thought it was going to be Caleb Downs going forward. Obviously, it's not. So someone's going to have to fill that hole. When it comes to the receiver position, I mean, we got Ryan Williams coming in. We got a couple of other guys coming in. Someone's going to fill that hole a lot easier than they would fill Caleb Downs' position. And I mean, he stayed healthy all last year. The future was bright with him.
Are you done?
You know what?
Okay, so first off, we're discussing a safety versus wide receiver. You're never going to win that debate. Wide receiver is also way more.
This is subjective, so I already won.
I gave you your time.
Won.
So you're discussing a wide receiver versus safety. You're never going to win that argument. Okay. Bond, you can't go just by stats. Last year, we had a quarterback who couldn't throw and a center who couldn't snap. Bond was never, ever going to get the ball. Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
When he got the ball, he was still the number 1 wide receiver on the team. He was a leading player. And you have to remember something.
Burton led the team.
No, you have to remember something.
You can't just say no.
If it's not for Bond,
yes,
we drop back for 4th and 31, and we toss the ball, and it just goes out the back of the end zone because there's no.
If Bond wasn't there, another receiver would have been there.
Look, I didn't interrupt any of your
honest.
debate. I fell asleep.
Auburn's DB,
your number 1 wide receiver. Okay,
Auburn's DB
would help us out there. It's an offensively driven league. Okay, you're going to have way more opportunities. If the offense was much better, you're going to want to start there. I can find anybody to play safety. If I had one more good knee, I could go play safety. And you act like he's a DB. He's not covering anybody. He's just running around back there. That's the reason why
safety, you still got to know where the ball's going to be. You have to have good intuition.
Right.
You've got it.
You just know you would rather have a number 1 wide receiver.
Hey. You got to respect me when I'm like the Stephen A. Smith. You got to respect the talent.
What? Because you're just going to cut me off and try to talk anytime you want to? Your points are terrible.
Your points are terrible. Auburn's DB helped us out with 4th and 31. By him not playing any defense, Isaiah Bond, it's not like Isaiah Bond had to dive out of bounds and do a cartwheel.
Isaiah Bond had to get open because you never know when Miller was dropping back.
He wasn't really open, and all he had to do was barely jump to catch that ball.
You cannot blame him for the quarterback.
We're always going to have receivers. It just depends on who's getting
the Downs wouldn't have caught that pass.
How do you know that?
I've seen his hands. There's a reason why.
I didn't even bring up his kick
play defense,
and I didn't even bring up his kick returning abilities either. He did run one back. But Isaiah Bond,
it's like the Middle Tennessee School for the Deaf and Blind. Like that doesn't impress me. He didn't do it against anybody good.
First of all, let's respect the deaf and blind schools. Okay, we didn't do that. We didn't play any deaf and blind schools. I think that would.
Did we not? You could have fooled me. Look, man, when the defense needed the defense most, they gave up the tying touchdown to Michigan and then the winning touchdown. So don't even talk to me about that. Okay.
For the big catches that Isaiah Bond made this year, and some of them were pretty sloppy passes. Not the 4th and 31.
All of them, but that's fine.
4th and 31 was, that was a pretty good pass.
His sell job on the Georgia 4th down play, that was gold.
That's what I'm saying. Anybody else could have did that. Anybody else could have did that.
Been much better for this team than Caleb Downs. That's it.
After 1 year? Yeah, but are you talking about the past 2 years? Because Caleb Downs only been there 1 year.
Right. And Isaiah Bond last year, he has more iconic. The Gravedigger is more iconic than anything
because
Caleb Downs did.
You get more attention at the wide receiver position than you do the safety.
Yeah, we get pretend. Well, look, I said defense let us down at the most. You want to look? Do you want to go to the judges? Do you want to let them go?
It's going to be easier to fill that receiver position than it is that safety position. We'll have more safeties, but they're not going to have the same. They may not have the same intuition.
And a much better.
And of course, next year,
the number one wide
let's see what happens next year. Let's see. I'm just glad I'm right and I won.
You want to? Okay, you want to go to? We'll go to the judges and let's see who won. Fair enough.
Oh, let's do it. How are we gonna do it? I mean, are you gonna go?
Okay, hold on. Yeah. Well, no, we'll see. We'll get to the comments right after this.
Hold on. What does the winner get? As like what?
Well, we're gonna do a whole series, so we'll come up with something at the end. Okay, let's go to the judges first. All right.
Okay, and you can't.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Brett here. I'm here to be the judge of the very first debate here on the Herb and Raj podcast. Man, y'all did your thing, man. Both sides came with it. I love the arguments on both sides, man, because really I didn't think this was going to be an easy one at first. But, man, when I weigh everything and I put it into my complicated system, Herb is the winner, man. Herb, you did your thing. Raj, you just still got a little bit of work to do, bro. But appreciate y'all inviting me on here. Thanks, everybody, for watching the Herb and Raj podcast. And look out for the next debate. Brett, out.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, my goodness.
I mean, the impartial judge has.
Wow!
All right, so let's check the scores. All right, Raj, looks like I'm up.
There is absolutely no way I can come back from that.
So do you see the score? There I am up 1-0.
Oh my gosh, my stomach hurts. Oh gosh. That was absolutely hilarious. Kudos to her. I defended that as the best I can, but you came in with the sucker punch at the end. So, all right, whatever. You could have it. I on a serious note, I think we both gave good arguments for each side, but that was spot on, Herb. You stole the show with that one. So, all right,
Lord.
Oh man.
I guess we missed a lot of comments, so we'll catch up real quick. So going back to the last thing we said, Bo said he's going to suit up because he doesn't think.
Shout out to Bo. And side note about Bo. Bo can make some of the best old fashions in the world. It's just going to take him about 10 to 20 minutes.
Oh, Lord. We will never fight over this because it changes like week to week.
Yeah.
And Hood has already admitted he's fickle. So we know he loves us both, man. So that's the most important thing. Yeah, I figured Downs would be the popular choice. That's why when Raj picked him, I was like, oh, man, who wants to defend the wide receiver when I think we already got another one coming in? So, yeah. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. He's the one that helped put. You can't see it on our screen, but on their screen, there's a little like and subscribe button at the bottom right there. So, Mike, on your point. So,
yeah.
And that would kill my point too as well. So, yeah.
Well, that was my point. If we get Ryan Williams in here, and again,
I fully acknowledge that I would have loved to keep Downs. That would hurt me more than that, but that's not the side you gave me. So,
yeah. And I guess what I was saying is, like, even though he's coming out of high school, we don't know how good Ryan Williams is going to be. We just know he's a 5-star, highly coveted recruit. So, hopefully he shines.
Rex was ready to kick him out. And by the way, this was thank you. Like I said, Randy's very, very, very influential behind the scenes. So
yes. Shout out to Randy.
Yeah, lost great set. Yep. See,
who's Britt Mick90?
Really? Well, let me get. I'm not even on that screen, so let me get down to that. So,
hey,
Euro doesn't need my receivers. Yep, that was rude, but true. Yeah. My boy Ricky, Roll Tide. We had this
Ricky.
debate. He was on your side too already before this even started. So. See, thank you. I've at least got a couple comments on there. It's harder to get a wide receiver. So I was caught by Roy threw it to himself. He's that fast. Yeah. One of my favorite. We haven't even talked about the Washington flavors, but the Germinator. That's one of my.
I like that one.
When people are like Milrow threw it up and Germinator caught it. He wasn't even on campus yet. That's how amazing he is. So. Raj A. Smith. Yeah. Yeah, we don't want to talk to him for real. Yeah, he's he's dead to me now.
Yeah. If
So,
you ain't wearing crimson,
having anyone play safeties out Tennessee,
yeah.
I could have
that
covered
score
better
was
than that.
what? That score was 49-52. And I remember Bryce Young threw for like 455 yards, and we still
Gave up 5 touchdowns to the same person. Thanks.
Yep.
So, Stephen A.
Oh, wow,
Smith
I
was
didn't know
lucky
that.
to work alongside you.
Yeah.
So you didn't work alongside him. He worked alongside you. So
what does the A in Stephen A. Smith stand for? I wonder.
Never mind.
Okay.
So is he like that in real life? I hope it should. I feel like it has to be a TV persona. But to his credit, man, it's made him money. So I can't really like fault him for anything he's done. So yeah. Britt's the one that came up with the graphic too. That's why she's also
awesome. Shout out to Sis. Thank you, Brett. We appreciate it. We've got to definitely, we got it. That was cool.
It was not a catch. I mean, we saw the replay. I saw live. I thought it was, and
when
afterwards,
you said it
I don't know.
About 5 minutes ago, I was like, here we go.
Yeah. So, yeah, probably. So,
yeah,
I can admit stuff after the thing. I'm just happy it worked out in our favor. Like,
yeah.
And I think that was it. Oh, come on, Matthew's supposed to be on my side, man. And I think this was after.
Everybody.
First off, it's not rigged. That was an independent judge.
That was absolutely hilarious. I can't even argue that. So, Herb secretly won the first debate.
Yes, up 1-0 in case you missed that one. So yeah, everybody is kind of loving it. So. Oh, I got to, Randy. I agree with it. So, worse than the refs in Tennessee. That's how low it gets.
Oh man,
you didn't even point out the fact that the graphic was already ready before the day of the meeting.
I didn't even know what to say. I was just like, and at first I was looking like, who is this guy? But I'm like, oh wow, he got the whole costume and everything. That was absolutely. I wish Sydney would have been. Sydney said she's out with the kids and with her mom, but I wish she could have saw that too. So we gotta.
Yeah, well, she'll have to catch the replay. So.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a challenge.
Brittany does make some good old fashions. She does make some very good old fashions. She's got the good recipe. Did for my 40th birthday. I think she's the one who put the recipe out there, and they were absolutely phenomenal. Shout out to Britt.
I thought it was a great mustache, man. The mustache, the hair, that breath.
Where'd you get that chain from?
What do you mean? Where did I get the chain from?
Yeah. I see you sneaking in some NIL money on the side, huh?
You think that's what I would
Yeah.
Well, Bo, I still got some unopened bottles over here. You're gonna have to stop by and get one.
I still got that bottle of 4 Roses that we were supposed to have,
Rick,
but
hey, Rick, don't be giving away nobody's secrets.
I haven't opened it yet, so
don't be giving away nobody's secrets. So this is a good time. We're getting close to the end, so let's pull out something because it will go with some good NBA news that was out there today. If I can go back,
some interesting NBA news. So
Celtics, Bucks, 76ers, Cavs. I think that hasn't changed. Nuggets.
Well, it did because last week he had the Pacers.
I did have the Pacers. Yeah. Halliburton got hurt though, so I think they've slipped a little bit. The Bucks fired their coach. Even with a winning record, they want to replace him with Doc Rivers. There's an article that I'm about to read on Bleacher Report about some of the behind the scenes stuff that is going to lead that led to it and whatever. So it
has without me knowing, it has to have something to do with how Giannis feels about the team too, because I mean that's your star player. So
they were defensively terrible. The offensive output was supposed to be there, and the defense was supposed to take a hit, but the defense has fallen off a crater and
but that's 30-13. It wasn't that bad. I think you could have proved that, but
they're a championship or bust. So they're Ohio State.
Doc Rivers want the job?
Well, do you want Doc Rivers? He's a terrible coach.
That's the thing.
So I love the Western Conference one, man.
Denver,
is that LA? Clippers.
The Clippers and Lakers play tonight, so that should be a good game.
Yeah, but no LeBron. So
LeBron's not playing?
Nope.
Are you serious?
Yep.
Are you serious?
Yeah, for real.
Oh.
Yeah, I agree, Ricky. There's way more to it. So, why is everybody trying to give away the secrets? Did Bob pick the outfit?
Oh my
Amazon. First off, I don't know what anybody's talking about. That wasn't me on the video. That guy looked nothing.
What was that guy's name?
Breh. BREH.
Okay. Herb backwards.
Yeah, I think so too. That's why I'm gonna check out the article after we're done and checked it out. So I mean, they were terrible at times and fighting against terrible teams sometimes. But I mean, yeah, they're still a top seed. So yeah, and I didn't realize how bad Dame was on defense until this. So yeah, he's good. Oh, nice.
Awesome.
Yeah, very nice. So Randy getting in a little NBA.
Yep.
Brett. See, that's his name, Brett. So
gotcha.
Nothing like me, didn't sound like me, didn't look like me. An independent judge. He listened to the whole thing and voted for me. So it's not. I mean, that's a coincidence. Not my fault at all.
Okay.
And they did. I think they just thought his offense would offset the loss.
And
it just hasn't. It's been a crap show. So
yeah.
Thank you. Totally impartial. He listened to both sides and voted for me.
Okay.
1-0. Okay.
Raj,
I forgot something real quick. Why don't we, before we get into the questions, why don't we get your top 5 list?
I was wondering if we're going to get to this.
Oh, yeah. Raj's top 5 most hated teams in college football. And just a note, Raj had a choice for today. He could give me his top 5 favorites out after Alabama or give his top 5 hated, and he went with hated. So,
all right,
anybody's listening, if this is your team, I hope you don't take offense.
These are all SEC teams. I'm just putting it out there right now.
How do you hate nothing but yeah.
Some of these other ones aren't really.
Do you even want to be in this conference?
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and give it to him. And as Herb stated, it's not. I'm just giving 5. I don't. Whatever. Number 1, we all know Auburn. Duh. Number 2 is Tennessee. Just don't like him. Like Erwin Carney said on that video, I just don't like him. I don't like the orange. It looks like throw up orange. I don't like anything about him. They snitched on us. Philip Fulmer snitched on us a long time ago. Number 3 is LSU. We've had some serious battles with them in the past. We came up victorious most of the times, but I just can't stand them. Number 4 is A&M. I still like the fact that Johnny Manziel came to Tuscaloosa that one year and beat us. I still feel a certain way about that.
You hold that, so you don't even care about the last time we lost to A&M. You hate the time.
I hate that too. But when Johnny Manziel came in there and did that to us, that really just kind of stuck with me. And number 5, this is gonna turn some heads. And
Vanderbilt.
I don't necessarily hate this team, but I don't like how good they've been in recent years.
Oh, Georgia.
Georgia's number 5. Yeah. I think they're the biggest.
I feel like
threat.
That's hate, jealousy.
Something like that. I just feel like Georgia's the biggest threat to us right now as far as what we've been doing over the past decade and so. So that's all. Like I said, the Georgia one's not the hate. It's just like, I wish they would lose a little more. Those other 4 are just hate. See? Auburn is hate. Brett, oh, God. Did he really spell that out? I wonder how long it took him to spell that out. He was like, okay.
Yo, so I didn't understand. So I think, yep. So that was great. It's probably better than the actual debate. Don't agree with these people. Like, it has nothing to do with me. That's all I'm saying. So, yep, that's for Tennessee. This is an interesting one. I guess we don't like them, but there's no hate because there's no.
I don't hate them because I don't see them as like a threat. It's just like every time we beat them, we beat the mess out of them.
That'll be a good 5th right now. So, and geez, this is just mean. South Dakota State. They must have done something personal to him.
Yeah. Anyway,
bring on the questions.
Herb's 3 questions of death. All right. So obviously, Coach DB came to Tuscaloosa on the 12th, Friday the 12th. He was introduced as the coach, etc. Blah, 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 blah. It got me thinking, Herb, if you were introduced as the new Alabama football coach, what are the first 3 things you would want to do in the new city of Tuscaloosa? Let's just say you come from somewhere else that aren't football related.
Go to Dreamland.
Okay.
Oh, he said Indy is Notre Dame. Because South Dakota State, I read that as North Dakota.
No, I knew it. I got the Notre Dame. I just didn't get the South Dakota State, though.
Yeah. Go to Dreamland, for sure. Visit Mr. and Miss Ragsdale, because they're legends. Yep. And go to a party with some co-eds. Party City, baby.
And you're the head coach of the football team?
Yeah, Lane Kiffin would do it.
Oh, gosh. All right. Number 2, for those that don't know, Herb is a huge Batman fan. He's got a Batman tattoo on his arm. It's pretty weird. But you don't have to show it. Okay, he doesn't have a Batman tattoo. I'm just playing. So we're going to do Work, Play, Live edition with Batman Villain edition. I'm sorry. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Work, Play, Live, Batman Villain edition. The Riddler.
Okay.
The Penguin.
Okay.
Or Bane.
Good Lord.
Yep.
So I'd have to live next door to the Riddler because I feel like that's the position he'd be the least annoying with. Because I can't imagine working with him and I'm like, hey, did you finish this project? When is a project finished but not finished? Like, I ain't got time for all that. At least if he's just living next door, hey, when is your grass cut but not cut? And I just walk inside and
yeah.
So I feel like that's the least intimidating.
You're like, you walk by like, hey, okay, shut up.
Yeah. Bane I'd have to work with because he's big and strong, and I hope he could just move stuff around. Like that's not a guy you want to go out with. So
did you not?
And just imagine.
Did you not descale the coffee machine?
Yes, but see, you put in the Venom, start lifting stuff, help move me around. So I'm going out with Penguin. He's probably got the most money out of the three. I mean, he's a businessman, so he probably owns the club that I want to go to anyway. So I'm drinking for free all night.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm going.
Okay. That was funny. That was almost as funny as what you did earlier. All right. Number 3. All right.
I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't do anything earlier. Okay, you lost the debate, Raj. Just own up to it.
All right. Number 3. This is a pretty easy one. On a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you for the 2024 CFB season?
10.
Okay.
First off, I'm just always. So it's funny because, like you said, we started off as basketball fans.
Right.
But the deeper we get into this little party, it goes and goes. And now I'm just like, I'm sad that it's over. Yeah. NFL is kind of like, but I'm like, I'm 1,000% looking forward to football season. I want to see what the team is going to look like. I'm probably going to A-Day game this year. Me and Big Mike might be going like, I'm all in, man. So it's just hard to get me excited for anything else. The only thing that's sustaining me is football and the Herb and Raj podcast. So
sounds good. And you know, A-Day is actually on my birthday.
Really?
Yes.
Are you coming down for it?
I don't know. Probably not, but I would love to. It's on April the 20th, is it? Or is it the week before?
I haven't even looked at it yet.
Okay.
So I keep looking. I was trying to look it up before here. So
well, maybe I jumped the gun. We'll have to see the final day of it. But
yeah. So number one, the reason for exactly what I've seen from the other side, they're not rivals. Yeah. Albert just hates us because they're our little brothers.
Yeah.
So, Michigan, Indiana, LSU, Penn State, Wisconsin. The Indiana one, I guess, is proximity because I don't feel like Indiana holds a candle to you guys. So, but definitely get all the other ones. I missed what we said on Wood or did. Was that the party one maybe? So
I don't remember.
Lane's, I guess he's at Lane's got a girlfriend. I think that's Lane, not Kate. Why did you skip Scarecrow?
I skipped Scarecrow and Joker because I just wanted to do some different ones, I guess, and kind of mix it up a little bit. And then I really thought twice about Bane, but I was like, I just want to throw another one in here. So, and then there were some other names on the list that I don't think people would really recognize. So I had to put some familiar villains out there.
Gotcha.
I just feel like Joker probably would have been the most.
As long as he does all the work, we can work together. But I'm not like this body ain't made for beating up people. So. I think this was after the thing fell. So, hey, just love me. Everybody should just love me. Yep. See, Raj? 8-day game. Come on.
I would love to be there.
She said, I think that's about Indiana. Rude. All right, Raj. Successful show. I like it when we don't get to all my notes. So that means it's been a
good show. Yeah.
Oh, no, we didn't take shade. It's a good point that you pointed out. So we're definitely with it. So. She said the truth. Raj survived another show. Great show. Had me in tears.
That was good. Yeah.
Shout out to Brett for.
Shout out to Brett. I wonder if we'll see Brett in the future.
I mean, it depends on when we do our next debate. You never know. Like if you're gonna say you don't think he's impartial, maybe we'll find a different judge for next time. So we'll see. So, Good question to end on. Which version of Robin will y'all's four assistants be? I feel like Smart has to be Dick Grayson. Would Kiffin be Jason Todd? Because he was the craziest one. That's a good question. We will, unless Randy has a quick answer. I'm gonna table that one and maybe give a good answer for it next week.
Yeah.
So we will end bruh as bruh. Yep.
Yeah. I'm more
no relation to Herb.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Same and assistants as Robbins. I'm gonna have a good answer for that. I'm gonna actually put some time into it. So see what you guys are just hurtful. So we'll end on something good instead. That's what. Thank you, Raj. Appreciate you, sir. Thank you, everybody, for commenting. Thank you for listening into our debate. That was fun. It was great. And we will see y'all next week. Keep lookout. We do have a YouTube. We will be putting out something about the NFL playoffs for this week too as well. So he already likes it. So, and I figure Randy would probably be the better person in. So I might get his answers, but we'll give those answers on the show next week. Maybe we'll have another debate if Rod is up for it now that he's down.
I'm always up for it.
So if he was a Ragsdale, he'd be my number one. He's a great guy. Cool looking guy. So, all right. Love y'all, everybody. Have a great night. And as always, roll tide.
Roll tide.